Welcome back, and we're continuing on our X5. And in the last video, we finally got this entire engine in, which went really smooth, and I'm super happy that we finally got this in. And on top of that, we also got this entire front right side suspension and everything in place, and that also looks very, very good. And to anyone who's new here, we bought this car crashed from Copart for my mom, and in the crash, the car took a huge hit in the front. And we were super excited when we finally got the car because this was our first time buying a car like this, and then also being able to work on it. And to give it a little bit of background, I'm 17 and I'm still in high school, and I absolutely love and enjoy working on this car, and I'm doing this all together with my dad. He's always by my side helping me and supporting me. And after we got the car, we immediately started working on it, and then we took closer looks at all of the damages, and we never expected it to be this bad. And after taking closer looks through all of the damages which this car had in the front, we noticed that this right chassis leg was completely off, and that was already a very bad sign, because this chassis leg had a complete bent right here and was bent completely outwards to the point where it wasn't even savable anymore. And this meant that we had to pull out this entire engine, which we've never done, let alone worked on a car that had any damages like these. But after many hours and nights that we've worked on this car, we finally managed to pull out this entire engine. And after that, we also tackled the chassis leg. And since this chassis leg wasn't savable anymore, this meant that we had to swap it out completely by taking out the old one and then putting in the new one, which we got from a structural cut. But after a lot of thinking and planning, we finally managed to swap out the entire chassis leg, and that was very stressful because that was exactly what we were scared of from the start when we bought this car, that we had to touch anything that had to do with the chassis. And as you can see, the chassis leg looks really, really good and definitely turned out way better than I thought it would be. And as you can see, we also recently finally put back this engine, which all went very, very flawless, and now we're starting to finally build up this entire car. And in this video, we're going to be continuing on the front right here. We have a lot of stuff that we need to do around the entire engine before we even start with the entire front, and we're going to start off with the pulley and the belt. And what I mean by the pulley and the belt is down here we need to swap out this massive pulley and also the belt, because this pulley is cracked and damaged down here, and we don't want to risk anything and that it cuts into the belt and then it rips. And since we're already taking out the pulley, we might as well also do a service for the belt itself. So that's what we're gonna go ahead and do now. Here's our new belt and here's our new pulley, and both of these pieces are brand new because we don't do any bullshit, because we want this car to turn out as good as possible. Not just because it's for my mom, but because we want it to turn out as OEM as possible, if not even better. So now we're gonna take off the belt, and the first step to remove the belt is that we're gonna have to pull this coolant reservoir a little bit to the front, because the belt runs over a pulley which is attached to the alternator on the top, and there's no room, so we're gonna have to pull this a little bit in the front so that we're able to pull it off. And now, after creating a little bit of space up here, we can now move on to actually taking the belt off. And to do that, we need to pull the tensioner right here. So my dad's gonna pull it, and whilst he pulls it, I'm gonna be taking the belt off. And as you can see, when he pulls the tensioner, everything becomes a little bit loose, and you can kind of just start by sliding the belt off everywhere. And that's the belt removed. And if you take a closer look on the belt, it looks completely brand new still. There's no wear or tear on it. Since we already have everything open up here, we just wanted to take the chance to swap it out and just do the service on the belt already. And now, after removing the belt, we can remove this pulley down here. And as you saw, it was cracked down here, and this was not due to the crash or anything, and it's not part of the service. We're just swapping it out because we damaged it a little bit when we removed the engine at first. And that is the pulley fully removed. And as you can see down here, this is the damage that we made down here, and it could have possibly touched the belt, so we definitely didn't want that happening. So that's a good thing that we were swapping this out. And now we can already throw in the new one. And it's really important for parts like these that rotate and move a lot and also have a lot of forces acting on them, that you put the screws back to the factory torque spec. The belt now goes all the way up here, and we're going to start off with the top piece where it goes around the alternator, because that's the trickiest part. And now we come down here. Now it's on there loosely, and always double check it, even the top piece, which is most important, that it's on there before you put tension on it, and then you may put any damages on the belt. Now it's on here. Always, as I said, double check it that it's on there completely before you start putting stuff back. and close it off again. This went pretty smoothly, and now we can put this reservoir back. And that right there would have been a $600 service at BMW, and the belt, give it like maybe $40. So this was a quick fix, and yeah, now we can move on. And here we now have a very important piece which we just picked up, and we're really glad that we found this, and let's show you guys. And yeah, here we have the complete front end with all the coolers, AC condenser, and everything that this car needs. And this piece we just picked up, and we're really glad that we found this. We did ahead of time also bought a lot of the coolers that we also needed, but since this car has everything with it, we are just going to sell those. And this is actually really good because the entire front consists of hundreds of small pieces and big pieces, and that's going to be a little bit annoying to find all of those, get those in time and everything. So we just ended up buying a complete front end, and we're not just going to take this big piece and just throw it onto the car. We are going to disassemble it and then also check it out to see that everything is fine and also working, obviously. And yeah, I'm super glad that we finally got this, and we're going to unload this now, and then we're going to continue. And here we also have the new heat shield, because in the last video we did buy one, but that was for the wrong side. So here we now have the right side, the right side. So yeah, this is also something that we can finally put under the car. And here's the front end, which is made for this car. And a lot of people are also scared when buying parts like these that these parts come from a stolen car or whatever. These guys gave us the VIN and everything, and you can also find the VIN on parts like these. So you can check everything, which we did, and they can also see if the miles are good and everything. And this car actually did less miles than this car did, so this is a better piece than the car originally had. You can see it has a little bit of upgrade. Also up here you can see where they put it, you can see BMW X5 M50. This is definitely for the right car and everything. And you can also see that when they took everything off back here, they took every hose off and everything, but for the cables and the wiring harness, they just cut everything off. Also down here on the horn, it just cut everything off, and that's nothing bad because we have the wiring harness, so that's not bad. But glad that we finally have this. Also the heat shield for underneath that we have to put there, and now we can finally continue and come closer to the finish line with this car. First up, we're going to start with the heat shield, which kind of sits above the entire exhaust on the right side, because this one was completely broken because the cars get lifted with the forklifts at Copart. So I think the forklift kind of damaged this one, so that's why we had to buy a new one. And before I put this one in, since it kind of sits above the entire exhaust and the exhaust is kind of tight, we are going to drop 2 hangers of the exhaust. The exhaust has 4 in the back, so we're going to drop the front 2 so that it can kind of fall down a little bit, so I have a little bit more space to put this heat shield in. And now I can unbolt these 2 hangers in the back, and then we also have to slide it off of the exhaust and the downpipes in the front because it is obviously hooked up onto it when we put the engine in. And now after getting this heat shield in, we can now move on to the drive shaft, because when we put the engine in and everything, we never connected it, and now that the exhaust and everything is dropped, we can reach it better. What I'm going to do next is take out these 2 screws which hold up the drive shaft in the middle right here so that I can drop down and so that I can connect it up here. And as you just saw, we got the drive shaft connected and everything, but we still need to torque it down. And when we try torquing it down, it just spins because it's in neutral and everything. And up here, the little lever is pulled, which puts the entire car into neutral and out of gear and everything, because we need to roll the car out to start. So we're gonna disconnect this so that the car pops back into the gear so that we can tighten it, and then we are just gonna pull it again because I can't reach the other screws because some are on the bottom and some are on the top, so we need to spin it. We're gonna disconnect it and then tighten the drive shaft. And now before we actually put the entire exhaust up, we have one more step, and it's gonna be these two heat shields which sit above the entire exhaust, and we can't really do it when the exhaust is completely up. So it's still down. We got the drive shaft and everything torqued down, and also that little holder in the middle with those two screws, also got that torqued down. Yeah, I'm gonna put these heat shields under here first. I'm gonna have to put this bracket, which goes under the drive shaft, has 6 screws. Then I can put the back heat shield and then the front one, and then we should be able to put the exhaust up. So now we finally just finished up and got everything tightened up with the entire exhaust and put all the heat shields in place, and also the drive shaft. And there's a lot of components that are with this, with all the heat shields that we had to take off at the start because there's so many screws, small screws and everything. And that's the most important, to keep everything organized so that you don't have any trouble at the end. Yeah, now we can move on.
So now it's a couple days later, and we're gonna continue here on the front with this oil line. And if you can maybe hear, I am a little bit sick, but that's not gonna stop us from working on the car. And we are gonna continue with the oil line, which is for the transmission, for the cooling, which runs from the transmission to the front to the cooler, because the old one that is on the car right now had a little scuff on the front. As you can see down here, we saw this in the last video, and that was a small hidden damage. So always check your cars for any damages for small parts like these. Now we are going to continue, and one hard thing about this is where it connects to the transmission. It slides right into here, and then has one screw right here, and it's really tight under there, so it's going to be hard to record it. But we are going to try get it out, and then we should be able to swap it out. So a slight change in plans down here. Since it's very tight, it's also a little bit hard to record, but as you just saw, we got this entire line loose, and the main thing that's in the way is the drive shaft right here. So what we're gonna do now is disconnect it right here in the front. As you can see, these screws. So we're gonna disconnect this, see if we can kind of drop it down, and then this should make it a little bit easier to take out this oil line, because it is kind of stuck a little bit everywhere. But the main point is up here, because first we need to pull a bit to the front and then let it down. So taking this out should make it a little bit easier. So now we finally got these oil lines out, and this was pretty tough to get out because of that entire tight space that we have down there. Barely have any room down there, and taking that drive shaft out didn't really help a lot, maybe a little bit, but it couldn't also drop down completely, so it didn't do what we really wanted to do. And here you can see is the damage what that pipe had, and there's no clear really holes in here. but it did really bite out a good chunk of it. And since these pipes or these lines are under pressure constantly, and we really didn't want to take any risk of trying it out and then later on have to swap it out, whatever. And now we are gonna head on with the new one. And the challenge isn't over yet. We're just about halfway after getting the old one out and still have to put the new one in, which is gonna be a new challenge for itself. And this definitely takes a little bit of time, and on screen for you guys it's just gonna be about 30 seconds. But for here, it's definitely gonna take a little bit longer. So we're gonna try and get these in now. And now we finally finished up the front, as you just saw. Got everything completed, all the little holders that attach to the lines and stuff like that. And super glad that we finally got that done. That was a little bit of a challenge, but got it done, and now we can continue to the back. We are just gonna work our way from the back to the front, and the only thing we have left from underneath, because we don't have anything else in the back, are these strut braces right here, which attach to the chassis to give everything a little bit more stabilization. So we are gonna head underneath and put this one back. Next up, we're going to connect the steering column to the steering rack. We haven't done that yet after putting the engine in and stuff like that, so that's what we're going to do now. Slide it on top and screw it in. And now we finally got the steering column onto the steering rack and also have the screw back there. And don't have it completely tightened yet because this also plays a huge role, because you obviously need steering, and when you lose steering, that's probably not your best day. We're looking up the torque spec for this right now, and then we are going to torque this one down. And here we are now. Made a lot of progress today, and this all looks really good. And if you also look from the front with the steering, everything is straight and works. And I'm super proud that we finally got all of this connected, and I'm gonna hop in the car real quick and show you that it works. And as I said, we made a lot of progress today and got the steering and everything working, as you just saw. I'm super proud about that we finally got that done. Got a lot done, not a lot visually because we can't see a big change, but definitely a lot of work done that needs to be done. And next week's video, we are going to be continuing in the front, especially on a lot of electrical stuff that needs to be put back, like the ECU and stuff like that. But yeah, super proud of what we got done in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the post notification. Drive safe and stay tuned.